Hello and welcome back to this session about random numbers. So creating random numbers is a very helpful tool to simulate and analyze the real-world processes like playing the lottery. So if you are good in math or stochastics, you can simply calculate the likelihood of winning a lottery. But if you do not have any clue about math and stochastics, you can also simulate this process by generating random numbers and analyze the results of your simulation. So first of all, let's import the random module, so it's not imported by default. So we need to import it with the keyword import. And then with the function random.random, we can generate random floats in the interval 0 to 1. So if we press Shift Tab, we can have a look here. So x in the interval 0 to 1. And here we get 0.523 something. And if we rerun the cell, we get another random float, also in the interval 0 to 1, so it's 0.89. And every time we repeat this process, we get another random float in the interval 0 to 1. And there's a very helpful tool called a random seed, where you can pass within the brackets a number. Here it's 1, 2, 3, but it can be any number. And when we create random numbers, like here, we need to set the random seed before. And as long as we have the same random seed, we get the same random numbers. So the random numbers are still random, but so-called pseudo-random, because they depend on the random seed. And this enables reproducibility. So as long as you have the same seed as I have, so here in this case 1, 2, 3, we should get the same random numbers. So let's run here the cell with the random seed 1, 2, 3. So we still use the random generator random.random. So we would expect a random float between 0 and 1. So here we have 0.052. And if we repeat this process, we should actually get the same random float. And this is the case. So, and if we change here the random seed to say, let's take 10. So it can be any number here. Then we get a different random number here, it's 0.57. And if we repeat this process, we get the same number because we have the same seed as before. And depending on the characteristics of our real-world problem, there are different random generating functions. So here we learned about the random.random function that creates floats in the interval 0 to 1. And there's also the function random.randin, which creates random integers in an interval which we can determine actually. So let's press Shift Tab and have a look. So here return random integer in range a to b, including both endpoints. So if you want to generate a random integer in range 1 to 100, both ends including, then our function here is random.randint from 1 to 100. So let's run the cell here. Here we get 55, and we can also repeat it. So without random seed here we get different integers. And let's assume we have the problem of rolling the dice. We can simulate rolling the dice by creating random integers in the range 1 to 6. So in our first throw we get 5. In our second throw 1. In our third throw 2, and so on. And we can also create many random numbers with a for loop. So first of all we create an empty list, and we set the random seed to 1 to 3. So we want to have the same random numbers if we repeat the process here. And then we say we want to have 10 random integers in range 1 to 100. So we have here a for loop with 10 iterations, so 10 times. We create a random integer in range 1 to 100, and each random integer we append to our list L. So let's see what we get. And we can print L here. So here we have a list with 10 random integers in range 1 to 100. And let's check also the length of L. So of course we have 10 random integers. And we can also simply change this. So let's assume that we want to simulate rolling the dice 10 times. Then we can say, okay, I want to create random integers in range 1 to 6. And here we have the result of simulating rolling the dice 10 times. So we have 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 1, 4, 5, 5. And as I said, depending on the characteristics of our real-world problem, there are many more random functions. So if we press here Shift-Tab, so for example, we can create log normal random numbers or normal random numbers. So there are a lot of options here. Alright, so let's create some normal distributed numbers. So let's have a look at Shift-Tab. So here we are creating normal distributed numbers with mu is the mean and sigma is the standard deviation. So let's assume we have a mean of 10 and a standard deviation of 5. Then we can create a random number from the normal distribution with mean 10 and standard deviation 5. So in this example 0.26. Alright, so we are finished now with the random module, and later we can see that also NumPy there's a random module which provides actually even more functionality and more options than the random module here in the Python standard library. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we see us in the next lesson. Bye!